Okay, and we good. As you can see, I put on the right side, you have white slide that you can put all the videos there so it won't interrupt the presentation. Uh, let's fix it more myself. I will put all of you on mute just so it will be because of noises and stuff like that. But if you have any questions, any thoughts, anything, just unmute yourself and ask whatever you have to ask. Okay, so quarantine in Israel. So as most of you know, I will start if there's someone who doesn't know me here. So my name is Adi. Um, I'm a community shlicha in Reading and Lancaster in Pennsylvania. I started here in September and I'm here for 2 years. Um, and in the end of March, I decided to go back to Israel because all the COVID thing started. And I rather to be with my family instead by myself in the apartment. So I ended up spending about 2.5 months in Israel, most of the time in my house, and and then I came back in the beginning of June here to Reading and Lancaster. And again, as I said, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself. I muted you only because sometimes there are background noises, but it can really open conversation if you have any questions. And here I'm just, sharing my experience and what I did when I was in Israel. So the first stop was flying from Newark to Tel Aviv. That was the first time I needed to wear my mask, and I was not ready for that. I put my mask and I was like, okay, wait, I cannot breathe. What are we doing? Um, but I was with my mask since the minute I arrived to the airport until I not just landed in Israel, but got out of the airport in Israel. It was a not fun experience. Um, and I can tell you that back then, the flight was pretty full. Most of the seats were full, all the three seats, and a lot of people were not wearing masks then. Um, the funny thing that I saw that, for example, I was from the beginning with a mask, but a lot of people, when we landed, then they put the mask. And I was thinking to myself, okay, that's interesting. Um, so that was about my flight. It was about 11 hours. And I was just happy I'm done with that when I landed. And then my dad and my sister arrived with two different cars, and then I drove back with one car, and they drove back with the other car to the house because we cannot be at the same car. Um, so okay, I missed the slide. So the second stop was that I landed in the airport. As you can see, this is the duty free where all the stores and everyone are shopping before the flight. It was empty, completely empty. There were like no one at the airport. Um, so as I say, they came to pick me up. We arrived home, and then this is, and then I drove home. You can see there is a video of the airport of the outside. It was rainy day. Um, Not many cars, usually packed with cars. And this picture, this is the enter to Modi'in, where I live. So right here where this car is, we're turning right, and then we enter in the city. Um, and then I started my 14 days of quarantine in my room. So basically, it was 14 days of not leaving my room beside going to the bathroom. That was also specific bathroom for me. And when I left the room, I needed to wear my mask and wear gloves and everything to really not put anyone in risk. Uh, and my brother hung a sign on my door that says, Buddy, this is my nickname in my family. Buddy is in quarantine, no entrance. If someone will think that you can enter my room, know that you can't. Um, so I was really 14 days. I will say even more than that. My dad didn't allow me to leave the room until the time I landed in Israel. So I landed at 2 p.m. and only at 2 p.m. I could leave my room. He was really strict about that. My younger brother texted me like 1:30. I think you have half an hour. You're almost done. Um, and then yeah, this is me starting quarantine. Think about it that I haven't saw my family for it was about 6 months, and I could not hug them. Like I needed to keep distance. I need to wear my mask. I need to go straight to my room when I entered home. Um, so it was crazy to suddenly see the family, but not be able to get any close to them. Um, Interesting experience. And one of my favorite things during quarantine was the quarantine food. Let's be honest. They it was pretty funny. I felt like I'm in some kind of hotel that I'm getting 3 meals a day, and I don't need to worry about that. Don't need to wash any dishes. It was very nice. Um, and I every time I posted the food, the quarantine food, and mostly food that my mom is making, that I miss it really really much. Um, so I spent my time in quarantine without losing my mind. And this is some of the pictures of the quarantine food, because we all love food. It started, we'll just go over the food because we love it. Some nice sandwich that my mom made me with kebab. As you're all familiar with kebab. And schnitzel, that FYI, on Tuesday, we're going to have a cooking class where we will learn to make schnitzel and red rice. So we had schnitzel and kibbeh bulgur. I don't know if some of you heard my lecture about the Iraqi Jews, but this is one of the traditional food that I'm talking about. The kibbeh bulgur, it's basically, there's grounded beef inside, and it's covered with bulgur. And you first cook it in hot water, and then you fry it, and it's amazing. Let's see. Hi, Rotem. I put in you on mute. Okay. You join us in the perfect timing. We're talking about what I ate during quarantine. So this is from the first day. These are just pita is very, as you know, common in Israel. We don't have the flat ones like here. We have the thicker one. So pita, hamburger. Some of you might know this is my favorite food, actually, hamburger. I know it might be surprising. I should love falafel the most, but hamburger, this is my thing. Chicken soup, and I don't know, is one of you recognize these yellow things? Besides Autumn, you want to tell us what is it?
It's soup almonds in literal translation. So it's soup nuts or croutons, Israeli croutons, I guess, would be the best way to describe them. And they're really good in case you have never tried them before.
Yep.
They're our favorite, just to let you know, we love them.
Oh, that's awesome. I know.
Yeah.
I think from the commercial, it used to be little almonds for the soup, because they used to have it. I remember it because they used to have one kind that looked like fish. So they said little almonds for the soup. Now they look like fish. Like that was the commercial. That's the only thing I remember. It was many, many years ago. And really, I think you can find it in every house in Israel. And you will always add it to your soup.
I think the most excited I was when the most excitement I've had when I went into the supermarket right next to my house here in America was the fact that I found them here in my local supermarket. And I got so excited because I forgot to bring them from Israel. So now I have a constant supply.
That's so important. I actually brought it with me the first time. And then there is grocery store in Wynwood. It's about an hour from Reading. That the kosher section there is like massive. And in Reading and Lancaster also, it's pretty much like one shelf. That's it. So very, very excited. I agree with you. And Yor and Rachel agree with us too. Okay, and also we have here a, we call it toast. It's not really a grilled cheese because you don't do it like on the stove. Very popular in Israel. Basically, bread or bun or whatever you put. We call it yellow cheese, but you can also put mozzarella or any other cheese with ketchup usually. If you want to do it like more fancy, tomato paste. Um, like pizza spices, cheese. You can put olives inside. Some people love tomatoes inside, mushroom, and it's great dinner, breakfast, lunch, everything. Rotem agrees.
It's the perfect comfort food.
Yep, absolutely. And it's perfect like when you're like, what am I going to have for dinner? Okay, I'm just going to make toast. This is the way it is and how the cheese melt, and yeah, perfect. Okay, and here we have another schnitzel, grape leaves. We have Israeli salad, of course, shakshuka that we all know, good cottage cheese. This is really important. I have to say I'm not a big fan of the cottage cheese. I tried few, um, but I think the one in Israel is the best. Um, yeah. When I was in Israel, I ate a lot of cottage. I was like, I need to eat cottage while I'm here, and yeah. And melawach. I don't know if you're familiar with that dish, but basically it's dough. You buy it frozen usually. It's about that thick, and you fry it. And then usually you eat it with like mashed tomatoes, like you can see in the bowl, an egg. But this version, it's the healthier version. My sister used rice paper, and she made it with like eggs and silan, which is a dates paste, you can say, kind of. And it's actually tastes not bad at all. But the malawach you can find usually in a big grocery store that have big kosher section. If you see that, you should buy it and try it. It's really, really good. Um, you can also put more stuff in it. It is like lafa or, get crazy with that. And the last picture we have here. So we have a sambusak, which is kind of similar to empanadas. I know it from my family. Sambusak, it's something from the Iraqi tradition. Usually it's filled with a specific cheese or with hummus sometime. Also, it can be filled with nuts and sometimes with meat. And as I said before, it's really similar to empanadas, but most of them are not fried. For example, the sambusak with meat and the sambusak that we do with cheese, not together, um, are not fried. They're in the oven. Um, like boreka, it's not really like boreka. It's mostly because the dough is really different. For borekas, it's the puff pastry dough, and for the sambusak, it's different. It's like regular dough that you add like the Iraqi spices. Um, and you also usually use a specific cheese that I don't remember which cheese is that. I just remember that I used to live with my grandparents. So every time I saw some kind of cheese, and I was like, Grandma, what is it? This is the cheese for the sambusak. Like, okay, fine. I won't touch it. Okay, so that's the sambusak. I do need to try and make it. So if I will do, I will let you know. The other thing is red rice with meatballs and beans. I think this is something really popular in my family. I don't think it's specifically Iraqi, but it's a really common dish in my house, in my grandparents' house. I do think the red rice it's more Iraqi thing. Um, I'm a big fan, so it's very good. Lasagna, which I think most of the people in Israel don't make it with meat. Like for me to know that it's made with meat, it's like, wait, it's weird. It's supposed to be cheese only. Why do you need to put meat inside? It's not. It doesn't work together. Um, what else? Chicken and French fries, cheesecake. That I would just say this is my mom cheesecake, which is pretty different from the cheesecakes here, because here you usually use a cream cheese, and in this cheesecake we use the cheese we call it white cheese. In the texture, it's really similar to sour cream, so it's much lighter than a cream cheese, and so is the cake. Sometimes I feel that the cheesecakes here are a little bit heavy, and this one it's more light. And how we cannot have pizza, homemade pizza. This is, I think, my second favorite food. Again, not shawarma. I'm sorry. Uh, and the end is near. I'm almost done with quarantine. And then 14 days have ended finally, and I could go outside. So these are all my water bottles that I was drinking during the 14 days. This is a 1.5 liter. So like one regular water bottle, big one. Um, yeah, I was drinking a lot. This is rogalach, if you remember from the last month cooking class. But this is a very special rogalach. I don't know, maybe some of you familiar with the bakery Marzipan in Jerusalem. Yep. So my sister, she did surprise. She lives in Jerusalem, so that was her surprise for me for my 14 days quarantine. When they're over, she's like, "I have something for you." So she got this sogalach for me. Um, really one of the best. So it was really nice. And this is me outside for the first time. In the We have like a yard next to my house. It's really nice. So what happened? I left I was done with my 14 days of quarantine, but basically the country was in some kind of a lockdown, shutdown, uh, and people were not allowed to leave their house. So they were allowed to walk only 60 feet from their house, or if they're going to the grocery store or pharmacy. That's it. No Target, no things like that, no clothing store, no anything. Um, and also not, I mean, if I just want to go and walk in some wood, I cannot, in some forest, I cannot do that because I'm not allowed to leave my house more than 60 feet. So if I have a dog, fine, I can walk with him. But if not, I can go back and forth. I spent a lot of time with my family, which was really nice. Of course, we did a Passover together in the Zoom, like I think every Jewish family this time. So we did Seder with the family. We did like family nights. I made my siblings to play some of the games I created to the community, and here my brother and I got assignment to um, work on the parsley to separate the leaf. So it was a brother and sister bonding time. This is one of the assignments that I hate the most, but I was like, fine, mom, we will do that for you. I don't know if you do it too. I feel like it's only my family, but never mind. Yeah. So after a while, we were allowed to leave the house and go more than 60 feet from our house. So I took advantage of it, and I went outside to see some of my friends and some of my family. Here you can see my grandparents, the one that I lived with them for 3 years when I was in college. Um, and here I met some friends and we got some updates. And it was really, really nice. And now I want to show you not the presentation. So I traveled a little bit in Israel. So instead of putting all of it in the PowerPoint, I just decided to put it on Google Photos and share it like that. Images, I'm playing with the videos here. Okay. So here you can see, this is for my first time since I arrived in Jerusalem. And me and my siblings, we did like a siblings day. And we did some kind of a food tour in Machne Yehuda, in the Shuk in Jerusalem. So we chose a few different restaurants that we wanted to try. And we did it. It was really, really nice. So we can go over the pictures. And again, if you have something to say, just unmute yourself. So this is the entrance, one of the entrances to the shuk, right from here. This is, let's make it work. It worked and I paused it. This is one of the stands with all the sweets, baklava and all these kind of stuff. It was like huge table. He had more stuff over there. That's on the street. That's saying Jerusalem from all the countries. This is the most beautiful girl in Jerusalem. Honey, the dark push me to hurry up, leave more. This is on the way to Jerusalem. We drove on the bus. You can see like some of the mountains. And yep, we went the right direction. Okay, so this is one of our stops. We tried empanadas, actually, with like 4 different fillings. It was really, really good. Empanadas, as you might know, it's an Argentinian dish. And actually, the guy that sold us the empanadas were originally, he had like Argentinian accent, and it was really nice talking to him. And this is, I think, one of the ways to know that it's good. This is what called khachapuri. It's from Georgia. No, Georgia is the state. Georgia. Okay. Okay. Oh, I thought you wanted to say something. Okay. Georgia. So basically, it's a special dough, and inside there is different kind of cheese, special Georgian cheese, and there is also egg in there. And then basically what you do, you take a piece of the bread and you just mix it all together, and and you eat it with the bread. So every time you dip the bread and eat the cheese and the egg together. Anyone know what that is?
Is that meat?
No, it's not meat.
Fish.
Not fish. You're in, Rachel. Did you guess it's dag? It's not dag. It's not fish. Other family.
Looks like fish. Wonder what it is.
So, do you want to keep guessing or should I tell you? Okay.
All right, tell us.
So this is jachnun. This is Yemeni food. And this is, again, basically a dough that you make it in a very special way. This is like a dough that you put on a table and you like open the dough so it will be very thin. And then you roll it. And there's a special pan for it. And you put it in the pan and you put it in the oven for the whole night. So it's like a whole night thing. And yeah, very popular, delicious. Also, that you can just buy it frozen and cook it at home. So it was really, really nice. And this is, by the way, this is green tahini, which was also really, really nice. So jachnun, write it down to yourself. It's very good. I'm hoping to do a cooking class with jachnun. I will let you know. I'm waiting to one of my mom's friends to teach me how to do it, and then we will give it a try. I think it's worth it. So this is also the empanadas before with different things to dip. Me and my siblings. This is my older sister Moran. She's working in the research department in a hospital in Jerusalem. And what's in the tahini makes it green? Larry's asking. I think they put parsley in, and I don't know what else. Autumn, do you know what else? I know parsley, but I'm not sure what else. Okay. But I guess we can also, it's also available like on Google to write green zucchini and to see if there are any other ingredients beside the parsley. Autumn is saying sometimes other green as well, but almost always parsley. Yeah, thank you, Toda. Excuse me. So as I said, this is my sister Moran. She's working in a research department in hospital in Jerusalem. She's the one working with the patients and everything. My younger brother, Roy, it just actually a week ago finished his service in the army. And now he's doing some program with the army, something that related to school. He's learning now programming. And my younger brother, Omri, he just finished elementary school. Very exciting. Going to middle school. And yeah, so that's my siblings. Okay, and on this side, this is the side of the light train in Jerusalem. So on the right, there are the trails. And this is, I don't know, if one of you have been, I think some of you have been in Machne Yehuda, but it also have it in Shuka Carmel. Do you recognize or have any idea what is that? What are we holding? Any guesses?
Never seen that one before.
Okay, so this is from stand of someone who called Isha Etrogim, and he have special like shakes that's supposed to make you be healthier, and he have like shakes for different things. And this is a health shake. It's supposed to be super healthy. Like shot, not shake. It's a shot. It have ginger in it. Kurkum. How do you say kurkum? I always forget. Should I Google it? Kurkum? How do you say? Wait. Turmeric. Thank you. So ginger, turmeric, and I don't remember what else, but like that's it. You take it as a shot, and it's like burn your throat. but it's supposed to be like super healthy and make you be healthy and strong, or maybe kill the COVID. I don't know. So this is what it is. A lot of people know that Isha Trogim, his stand, because his shakes are healthy and I don't know, have some magic in it. So it was a very interesting experience. I don't know if I will do it again, but it was I tried, so that's the important thing. Um, Again, delicious food. Let's see. Yep. Tacos. We also tried that. It looked really good, but actually it was not that good. It was a little bit disappointing. But we did try the tacos. It was a nice experience. This is Jerusalem. It was on the way back home. Just like a nice picture from there. Oh, we're back to the shuk. Pita. This is good and real pita. Um, this is from, there's like a whole stand just for pita. They make it there. If you can see, I will pause the video. Here in the background, they making the pita like on spot. So it was great to see it. Here, my siblings dipping in the khachapuri, as you can see. Pita from the same stand. This is one of the spices stand in the shuk, just like mountain of spices. And actually, fun fact, I was very like surprised and oh my god, this is so cool. And then I saw it in Shuk Carmel in Tel Aviv too, and I was like, okay, someone is copying from the other, or they're the same. I don't know. Sweets again. We love sweets. Lachmaniot buns. I don't think there are these kind of buns here. Um, it's very popular to buy them in Israel and make a sandwich to school with that for kids. Toast. Do you remember the toast that we said with the cheese and the ketchup and this kind of stuff? With that kind of bun, it's really really good. Sweets again. Some fruits and more fruit. They all looked so good. And okay, that's it. Jerusalem. Any questions about Jerusalem or the shuk or anything? Okay, moving to Tel Aviv. Woohoo! Okay, so I have to say that Tel Aviv is one of my favorite cities. I will admit that. I used to hang out there a lot while I was in college. I used to live in Hulon with my grandparents, which is right next to Tel Aviv. So just like I took the bus and I was there. So these are actually my friends from school. We were wearing masks. We took it off only for the picture. Just saying. My other friends. So it was really nice, to be with them and catch up before I'm leaving back. Um, this is, I don't know, some of you recognize what are we eating here? Any guesses? So this is borekas, actually. It was big. It was like that. Was really nice. It in a place that's called Kerem Atemanim, and it's right next to the Shuka Carmel. It's really a nice place. Some of my friends say that you're feeling like you're not in Israel when you're there, like you're traveling somewhere. But it's a really, really cool neighborhood, and there are a lot of good restaurants there. You can find a good jachnun there, also good hummus, and just like all the buildings and everything are just pretty. Okay, I saw now on Facebook, Sam was asking what Moran is researching. something in the cardio department. I can ask more if you want. Let's see. Jacob, are you with us? Okay. That place, this is right next to Habima. This is Hala Tarbut, the cultural center, if it makes sense, in Tel Aviv. There's like a big pool over there, and they put like sign. If you can see on the top, it's upside down. This is on the building, and then if you look at the water, you see the text. And so it was really, really nice. It's also like a nice place to walk at night. Right next to it, if we will go like back from the picture, it's Rothschild Street, a very famous and fun street. And this is from the market, from Shuka Carmel. The pineapples were like that high, was pretty cool. And that was my breakfast. Shakshuka, of course, with amazing challah, an Israeli salad. My friend got schnitzel in the challah, so it was like a massive sandwich that was really, really good. And beer in 11 in the morning. But I was on a day off, so why not? It's 4 o'clock somewhere. Okay, this is a little bit of pictures from the shuk. As you can see, you can really find everything. You can find food, you can find vegetables, you can find fruit, you can find clothing, you can find jewelry, you can find underwear, you can find cases for your phone. So many things, even like the Dead Sea products, everything you can find there, and it's really, really nice. And usually the products are really, really good and fresh, and of course a lot of desserts. I can tell you that a lot of people, no, a lot of like YouTubers that go and like doing videos about food places. Every time there is a place like in the shuk that they're going to do a video about, because there is always like a very nice and unique restaurant that open up in the shuk, and you can go there and get some really nice and cool dish. This is, I guess, okay. Do you recognize that? That's okay. I see some nodding. Someone wants to tell us?
Halva.
Halva. Okay. Halva with a bunch of different flavors. So we have the halva, and as I told you, the mountain of the paprika. Here again. Cherries, yeah, look so good. It's kind of babka, but not really. Again, more bakeries. This is also some kind of bun. I think it's the same dough like the other one, the longer one. Again, really, really good for toast. As you can see around it, there is the pita, the pitot. It's very common to sell them like that. They just pack 10 pitas in a bag. They close it. Usually it's like 10 for 10 pitas for 10 shekels or 10 for 15. And then they're all good pitas. I don't think we have any thin pitas in Israel. So it's, as you can see, it's really, really common. You can find it really everywhere in Israel. And we love all these kind of, we call it pitzuchim. I don't know, there's a name for it in English. I have no idea. Anyone can tell us? This is like you watch TV and you watch soccer and you eat it.
It's the seeds, right? It's kind of like Is that like the sunflower seeds and all
Yeah,
that
so
kind of
this,
stuff?
yeah, so this like the sunflower seeds and like
Yeah.
different. Yeah, do you have like a name for all of them? We call them pitzuchim
Yeah.
because we mefatzchim את זה, we crack them.
Mm-hmm.
That's so, yeah. And so I was like, who is bringing the pitzuchim? And important part. Yeah. So you can see here also like different like almonds and nuts and dates and everything. I think this is like dry pineapple and very nice things. Bunch of spices. Bunch of spices. Like you walk there and you just smell it, everything, and it's amazing. Oh, and this is all the pictures from Tel Aviv. Yeah, so that's Tel Aviv. Anything before we move into the last gallery? Okay, so me and my friend Keshet, who is shlicha in St. Paul, Minnesota. Oh my God, what have I done? Okay, we drove up to Tzfat and also to the Kinneret, to Sea of Galilee, and that area. It was really, really nice. I really wanted to go there before, excuse me, I'm coming back here. Unfortunately, everything in Sfat was basically closed. We walked there and a lot of things were closed. It was also not a lot of time after things started open. And then, I mean, we asked some of the people and they're like, yeah, like no one is coming. The tourists are not here. So people are not even opening because they don't have a reason to open right now. So I was like, fine. I wanted to see some more, but at least we saw some of the things, and the view on the road was beautiful. Um, and so this is a little bit pictures from that. I was just amazed from the view. As I told you, my favorite. This is one of the burgers I needed to try. It was very good, not disappointing. So as you can see, really we got up north and there's a lot of green, which I really love. Although I also really love the orange of the desert. So Israel is perfect for me. Um, so we went for a little a walk. On the second day, we went to the Kinneret. It was a really nice beach, not a lot of people. The view was just amazing. The water was great, and it was just perfect time. This is on the way. You can see the Kinneret. It was also, I think, during this year, it kind of filled up. So it was very exciting and happy news. And we finished the trip. Keshet really, really, really wanted hummus. That was like her thing that she wanted um, before she's going back to her shlichut. So we stopped right next to the Kinneret to get some good hummus, good falafel. Again, not disappointing. This is a video that we'll upload in. So this is again on the way. So basically what we did, because we drove from Tzfat, we went to a specific beach. So we drove down and then we drove around the Kinneret to get to the specific beach. So it's really nice. If you drive from one of the sides of the Kinneret, you can see it and it's just beautiful. These are some pictures from Tzfat. And all the buildings. We saw some place that they're making a mezuzot from glass and different things from glass. Unfortunately, it's closed, but at least they have that. And I just love, the stones, and I think it's beautiful, and all the vintage things. That made me funny. It says the Torah boy, like Superman. This is really like the alleys. I must say it was a little bit slippery. like the stones, like when you walk there. I was worried sometimes to just fall down. Um, but I really love these kind of stones. I think it's like super unique, and there's a historical value, and I just love it. Um, and the view, of course, if you can see a little bit here. Let's see, this is again the alley where we walked, and on the way, took a lot of pictures of the road, and here you can see the Kinneret. It's really, really nice. This is the north side. This is from where we stayed, and it's also the last picture. I think it's a good last picture. um, yeah. So, oh wait, so we have people in the waiting room. Sorry. Hi, sorry, I didn't saw you in the waiting room, Gali and Jacob. So we do you have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, anything?
Glad you had a chance to get back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it won't be then, it will probably be around now. It just for me, I mean, I said in the beginning, when everything started being crazy here, I just decided to spend the time with my family in my home instead of by myself in the apartment. Um, and yeah, but you know what? I'm happy. I'm always happy to. I'm really happy to be back here, and to our community. And yeah, I'm appreciated about that. Aaron, you have a question? You raise your hand.
I was wondering, and how are you doing there with the virus? Are things starting to open back up?
Right now,
Cases down.
so actually these days, it's not very good. I know the numbers are getting higher again, and they're closing things and they're opening things, and they opening some of the things and not all the things, and it's pretty crazy right now. And
That's how it is.
But do you have any real numbers, like compared to what we're going through in this country?
we have what? I'm sorry.
Do you have any real numbers, what America's going through? What's Israel going through?
It's lower numbers than here. That's I can say for sure. I think the last time I heard it was, I think they said we have more cases but less people who need oxygen. So that's good and not good. But the numbers are not like here. That's I can say.
So, okay, so like 2 months ago, I heard Israel was doing much better at all this mess than America was. What were you guys doing different?
First of all, it was we were in kind of a lockdown. As I said, we were not allowed to leave the house more than 60 feet, and there were the police and even some of the people in the army. The police used the army to make sure that happened. And if they will cut you, you can get a ticket. And if you were not wearing a mask outside, you will get a ticket. Basically, even now, if a police officer will see you without a mask, you will get a ticket. When
Wow.
here, first of all, each state is deciding what to do, and the second thing is that you don't have to wear a mask. It's recommended to wear a mask. So I think this is one of the difference. And and what happened, 2 months ago to now, is that they finished kind of the lockdown. They opened things back. People are start being less responsible. then they decided to close things, open things, close things. But it's really, I think just people, like here, were tired of being home so much and just wanted to go outside, and some of them just being not very responsible. Um, but we still need to, I mean, we have to have things open because we're supposed to have economy and function economy in the country. So they open things and now they close it back, and now they opening back some of the things. So that's, yeah. But I think also one of the two main things is that the mask issue, that you will get a ticket if you're not wearing it on the street. And the second thing is that here each state kind of doing what they want, like different, and there's not one rule for everyone. I hope I answered the question.
Palestinian provinces, are they in the Palestinian?
I'm
Do
sorry?
you have any idea what they're doing in Gaza or the West Bank?
Yeah, the Palestinian Arabs, are they suffering more or less, or are they handling this?
I know there were some cases there, but I'm not know too much details about that.
They're having even more trouble now, especially like Hebron and Ramallah, because after Ramadan, they opened everything up, and it was a big political issue from what I read, that people were really upset about being isolated and not being allowed to go out and celebrate. So they said, fine, go and celebrate, and there's a lot of cases now.
I think we just hear they used to report it in the Israeli news like 2 months ago, let's say. But now, because there are things that going on in the country, so they're more focusing about that, and less the Palestinian. Any other questions, thoughts? You also got some kind of tour in Israel, a little bit. Yeah.
It was nice to see Svat. I had spent about 3 months there. I did the Leave Note program a long time ago. And the Leave Note program, the one in Svat.
I'm not familiar with that. But okay.
It's like kind of like Ulpan in a way, where you work half day, you study half day.
Okay.
And so we did that, and that was, oh gosh, way back, like in the early to mid 80s. Like, you probably weren't even born then, but anyway, no, it was really nice to see the city again as well. Yuri and I were there last time we were in Israel, and it was really nice to be back, even just for a couple of days.
Yeah, I think there is something really special and unique about that city.
Mm-hmm.
And like last time I was there, actually, it was 8 years ago, something like that. And I don't know why. Like I felt that I want to go there, like when I'm in Israel now, before I'm coming back. I don't know why. I just felt like I want to go to Tzfat for some reason. But yeah, it's just like something there is different. Maybe it's the air because it's so high. I don't know.
It could be.
Yeah.
Listen.
Okay. Anything else before? Okay. תודה רבה for joining.
תודה רבה.
I enjoyed it. Hope you too.
Thank you for hosting and doing this.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you could join. לילה טוב. Have a good night.
להתראות.
לילה טוב.
We'll see you in the next event.
Yofi.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.